Hello everybody, welcome to a very long video. This is the character analysis video, I guess. I don't know what to title it. But basically this will be either the last or second to last video I do on this game. Basically, I'm going to slowly and meticulously, well not really slowly, because you know, I don't want to be here all day. But I'm just going to quickly go over each character in this game. Because, you know, each of them have something interesting to show. So first we've got Abyss here. We're gonna go from top to bottom. So there you go. And I'll save the bosses till the end. But anyway, first we have Abyss, and then, I'll have their, opposite, so Justice is here. And I'm pretty sure, like, every one of these stages are gonna show up, so, have fun. Anyway, Abyss is from Marvel 2, and, he's pretty weird.
Round 1, fight.
Fuck. Yeah. Basically, if you just push the buttons, nothing happens, but, if you use quarter circle inputs, that's how he attacks you. It's a pretty interesting concept. And then, if you use different inputs, he'll go to his different forms. So anyway, next up is Fatal Fury 1 Geese. He only has 3 buttons, which are punch, kick, and grab. And, honestly, the only reason you would want to play him is if you really felt like spamming Rapukin the whole time. Then there's Gainitz. Nothing really major to speak about Gainitz. He's meant to just be annoying as shit to handle because he's ranged as shit. Then there's Goodman. He's got a flaming whip, so, enjoy. But he can't jump or crouch. I don't remember if he can block, though. Let's see if he can. We're just gonna boot up Grant here. Let's see if Goodman can block. Okay, so he can block, but, there's no jumping, as you can hear. No crouching. Can't do either of those. Everything he does relies on, quarter circle inputs and other stuff. Yeah, Goodman's meant to also be a ranged pile of garbage. Anyway, there's Goro. He just hits really hard. Well, not even that hard. Then there's Grant, who also hits really hard. You know, these are basically hard hitters. Ignis is annoying as shit. I had to update him off screen because, the other version I had was quote-unquote bad, so whatever. Then there's Johan. Who's pretty obscure, but, can combo like a motherfucker. Like, this guy can get combos on you that are so friggin' ludicrous. Justice, I don't know how to fire lasers, but, he has lasers, and they suck. Alright, oh, Jesus. I forgot about boss characters. They mess you up. Alright, there you go. Then there's King Leo, who, is based on his, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum version. So, he just hits really hard. Then there's Chrysalid, who, despite it looking like he's in first form in this picture, he actually starts off in second form. So, if you just like second form Chrysalid, you know, then he's the ticket for you. Then there's Magaki. He's, cheap as shit. Because, he just... You know, go watch my Fighting Game Freakout episode on him. That's enough. All I have to say. Mataro, it's kind of like Goro. He just hits hard. However, you can't throw fireballs at Mataro because they simply just reflect off of him. I think you see that in the arcade playthrough with General I did, where I shot a fireball at him and he just shot a fireball straight back. Any fireball you throw at him will just get deflected back at him. So what? Don't even try. Then there's Art of Fighting Mr. Karate, who's just in there because I hate him. Yeah. Then we got Omega Rugal 2002, who plays like Omega Rugal from King of Fighters 2002. Enough said. Then there's Nightmare Geese from KOF 2002 UM, who's pretty gosh dang cheap. Let's just say that. I plan to FGF him in the future. He's one of the most obscure KOF bosses, but it's pretty damn hard. Then there's Red Armor from SVC Chaos, who is the hardest boss in SVC Chaos, simply because he's just cheap as shit. All he does is lob projectiles at you the entire time. Then there's Movie Akuma, who's just there to be funny. Then there's Shang Tsung, who can transform into every single character from Mortal Kombat 1, and some fan-made characters, which are Reptile and Ermac. Which, side note, I'm going to boot up a Mortal Kombat character, and Mewtwo. With any of the Mortal Kombat characters, if they load, if you hit start on them, as you can see down there, push start, you can actually look at their move lists. And I'm pretty sure that song's copyrighted, so it might be ficked. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty weird. Then we've got ST Akuma, who hits like a goddamn truck. Young Geese from Art of Fighting 2 is sometimes a bit glitchy, but overall he works. And then there's Akuma Shin, who's a joke character, who I put in strictly just to be funny. He can't hurt you. You know, he can kill you, but it takes pretty much the whole match to do so. You know, you basically have to give up to let Akuma Shin win. Ugh. Then there's Apocalypse, who, I didn't want to go with the X-Men vs. Street Fighter motif, because there's a character out there who already does the job, and you probably already see him, like, a row below. Then there's Unknown. I have really bad memories with Unknown. Unknown! Ugh. Unknown basically just juggles you the entire time, and is a friggin' nightmare. Cyber Akuma I put in because he's awesome. Devil Jin I put in because, friggin' why not? You know. Once I figured out they had sprites of the, Tekken characters, I was like, whoa. You know, it's pretty damn cool. Then there's Mewtwo, who, I went through some updates because I had another Mewtwo who was pretty bad. And then, I found this one, which uses more Smash-related stuff, and his sprite looks clean, like really clean. Then there's Ogre, who can be a bit hard to handle, but, you know, overall isn't that bad. Then there's CVS2 Rugal, as I showed off in the general overview. If you hold start on him, you get God Rugal. Even though his sprite is off, let's look at it. I'll boot up Gargos. Because if you look at his sprite, for God Rugal, his shirt isn't torn off. I don't know why. Oh wait. How do you get End Groove to work again? Oh, okay. There you go. Let's Demon Gargos. There you go. Okay. I just wanted to do that for fun. Shin Cyber Akuma is just there because, if you thought regular Cyber Akuma was bad, then there's Shin Cyber Akuma. Alpha Evil Ryu, again, paying homage to Ruben Key, because, you know, rest in peace. But, you know, I couldn't find, like, legit Alpha Evil Ryu, so I just used his. You know, plus I could pay homage to him, because I found out that he died, and, you know, pretty sad. Then there's Idol, who, I tried everything to get Idol to work, and he was, like, the only one I could find, which, you know, it's fine. If one works, I'm good with it. Then there's Darkseid, who, I found another version of him, but was pretty weird, so I used, DC versus Marvel's version, which I used for a lot of the, comic characters that are here. I use DC versus Marvel because, it's very easy to import those characters in here. Then there's Galactus, who, serves Apocalypse's place of just being a big giant guy. And, he only has a few moves. Then there's Gargos, who, you know, I put in because of technical reasons. Then there's KOF Wolfgang Krauser. I put him in because there was another character before him, I don't know who. But, you know... Oh, that was Hazama. Right, I had Hazama before, but he kept crashing, so I just had to put someone there to take his place, and why not another version of Wolfgang Krauser? Then we have Goku Black. I really like Goku Black. You know. And I know a lot of people think he might be stupid, but, you know. Of all the super villains, he's probably my favorite. Then there's Koda Akuma, or Children of the Atom Akuma, who plays like he did in X-Men Children of the Atom, because, it's pretty funny. Then there's Cell, who, you know, I put in because, you know, Cell's a pretty nice villain, you know, except for some weird things he does. Then there's General. I already showed him off in the arcade preview, so, you know, nothing unusual there. Magneto, I tried to get the Children of the Atom version of him, but I couldn't get it to work, so, I have the Marvel 2 version instead, and he's a bit of a bitch. Then there's Eno. I hate Eno, but at the same time, she's a pretty fan. Then there's Giga Bowser, and Giga Bowser's just there to be, you know, intriguing. Then there's Frieza. Frieza's another Dragon Ball villain. Why not? HD Remix Akuma is just there to be weird, you know. Then we have Saiki, who also can't jump or crouch, but, can friggin' trap you over and over with webs. Broly hits so goddamn hard. He hits really fucking hard. Then there's Infinite Akuma, which I chose because of his name, but, he plays like, Marvel, so, I just kept him in, because, you know, he can do some Marvel shit. Then there's SVC Mr. Karate, who, if you push just a button, he goes into regular Mr. Karate, but if you hold start, you get a serious Mr. Karate, or whatever the hell his name is. Then there's CVS2 Bison, which if you hold start, you also get Final Bison, which is pretty nice. And then there's Beerus, who, you know, pretty much all the Dragon Ball villains, you know, almost all of them have pretty nice sprites. Then there's White from, Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special Dominated Mind, I think, and, he's pretty funny. Then there's Master Hand. He's just there if you cop out and don't want to, if you don't want to play the game. Dark Ash, I used during the team video, and, he can do some work. Lucifer is one big monster guy, and, it's pretty weird. Then there's, SF2 Bison, who, does in fact tell you to get loose. Nightmare, again, pretty impressed to see a sprite of him. Jetta is pretty nice, even though his portrait is a bit miscolored. Mukai's annoying as shit. Kaiser Bison, modified version of Street Fighter 2 Bison, so, whatever. Then there's Cyborg, who, I worked hard to get the updated version with the sound clips, because before he didn't have those, but now he does. Oni, I also worked hard to get a sprite of him, and, needless to say, I finally got it. Movie Bison, Raul Julia power, you know, can't go wrong. Kane's annoying as fuck. If you are playing against a good Kane player, then, sorry. This row is mostly SNK stuff. Then we got Baihu, who, can be a pretty hard bitch to handle, but, you know, I never truly faced him, so whatever. Fernandez, or Fernandez, is just there to be funny, but also hard as shit. Koryu's a goddamn nightmare. ST Violent Ken, who is now canon because of Ultra SF2. Oops. Amakusa is a pretty big bitch. King Lion, not to be confused with King Leo, they're two different guys, but, you know, he's from, Savage Rain, or Kizuna Encounter, either one of those two. Kagami, both Kagami and Koryu from, Last Blade, which, yeah, should I tell you what games they're from? I'm not gonna go back. Most of these should be pretty obvious, if you don't already know. ST Evil Ryu, again, canon, because Ultra SF2, and now we go to this row. So let me just go over here. We've got Alpha Shinakuma, who, despite having a wrong portrait, is in fact the, Shinakuma from the Alpha series, and, it's pretty goddamn hard. Loud Demon, who, if you watch the SF2 bootlegs, video I made. This is technically my avatar that I used because it just looks like me. It's kind of a placeholder just because, you know, I ran out of ideas. But the guy who made it, you know, this character's pretty tight. He also hits really hard. ST Mr. Karate, you know, I was surprised they made this and I used it, and it's pretty nice. SF2 Sagat, who just hits super hard. KOF Mr. Big, Mr. Big is a pretty cool looking villain. NGPC Bison, who's Neo Geo Pocket Color, which that's what it stands for, and it's pretty funny. The Eternal Champion, I don't know how to play the Eternal Champion, so whatever. CVS2 Evil Ryu has a pretty nice looking sprite. Wyler is pretty weird. He's weird and stupid. CVS2 Sagat, he is also as cheap as you think he is. Chanray, Jin Chanray, a bit of a hard nut to crack. Then there's Pocket Shinakuma, which I just thought was nice. And then there is Neo Geo Pocket Color Bloody Ori, which I know Bloody Ori goes by several different names, but I just like calling him Bloody Ori because it's simple. Pocket Akuma, who's just regular, which both of them play pretty awkwardly, the pocket versions. KOF 13 Mr. Karate runs surprisingly well, and it's pretty fun. Next character, I don't know if I should censor this or not, but, yeah, I'll probably censor it in post, but, Paris Elsia, actually, no, there's no nipplage, so, whatever. Paris Elsia, you know, pretty much more people are learning about Paris and the reign of terror she's caused, which, fortunately, I can't ever fight Paris Elsia, so I'm just gonna keep avoiding her. Art of Fighting Mr. Big, from AOF 1, who kicked my ass in the old Ultra Challenge. So, go watch that. Dr. Doom! Dr. Doom's fun, no matter what you think. Also, Marvel Superheroes version of Dr. Doom still has Foot Dive. Damn. Mr. Bear awkwardly plays like Akuma and the like. So, whatever. Onslaught, made by the same guy who made Abyss. And, my god, is he a frickin' powerhouse. Then there's Mildred, also from Arcana Heart, who, I don't know if she can jump and crouch at all, but, is pretty bitchy. Pocket Violent Ken. I tried finding Pocket Evil Ryu, and I couldn't find him for some reason. I could never get Pocket Evil Ryu, so that's why I put in Pocket Shinakuma. If I had the choice between it, I would get rid of Pocket Shinakuma for Pocket Evil Ryu, but, you know, it's whatever. True Ogre, I also tried making him work for the longest while, and I couldn't until I found this version that works. FF2 Wolfgang Krauser is weird, but does work. Demon Sagat, the first god character, you play him in case you give up. NGPC Evil Ryu is pretty funny, because if you jump Tatsu, he'll fall through the floor and come back, which is pretty funny. And then there's Chanshu, Jin Chanshu, and more or less another version of Chanray. Berserk Sagat, I decided just to keep him because I like the SVC sprite, because it's weird and funny. Klaus from Alien Challenge, is pretty gosh dang weird, but he can hit hard. Neo Dio from Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. You know, also, I like his sprite. Neo Dio's sprite in NGBC is pretty cool. Alpha Bison, I tried finding a good version of Alpha Bison, and this is the only one that I think is worthwhile. And also his working supers. Demon Gao, which, is one of the few Sam Show bosses I put here. I didn't include regular Gao because and Sam Show 4 Amakusa just because I felt they were a waste of time. Rugal 94. If you ever wanted to split your hairs, play the actual King of Fighters 94 and try beating Rugal. He's friggin' nuts. It's really hard. Bloody Ori, just standard old Bloody Ori. Good for me. Vegeta, more or less based on his original version, back when he was evil. You know, obviously. Heihachi, he doesn't actually look like this. This is more based on his, original version in Tekken. When he was the final boss. Asura is a pretty interesting character. He's God Rugal and Shin Akuma put together. And, it's pretty goddamn awesome. Nemesis, I was surprised they made a sprite of Nemesis. And, he's not that bad. Ret Rakuma's one of the funniest characters ever made. And, again, is another god character. Miranda, oh, I forgot what game she's from. She might be from Variable Geo, but I'm not certain. I don't remember at this point. I could have told you clearly months ago. Mizuki, Mizuki is from, oh yeah, she's from Sam Show, right. I was thinking about her. Yellow Devil from Mega Man, just there to be funny. Ivan Ooze. That's a pretty nice free sprite in this game, and is a bit of a bitch. Boss Sagat apparently said to be horrible, so that's why I put him in here. Kentaro, more or less the same from the other Mortal Kombat bosses. Garuda, I was surprised to find a Garuda sprite, and I just stuck him in there because I felt like it. Oh god. Evil Kung Fu Man, we had to at least have one Kung Fu Man in here, so I put that there. Hauser from Red Earth. One of many, many Red Earth bosses that would be in here. Omega Shenron from Dragon Ball GT. You know, I just put him in because I like him. Alpha Sagat, who is Sagat from Street Fighter Alpha, enough said. Cooler, another DBZ villain, more or less the same. Street Fighter 1 Sagat, who is just there to be funny. But is the version from the Street Fighter 1 fan game, so he's not as brutal from the original Street Fighter 1, but he's playable. Juggernaut, you know, Juggernaut is fucking insane if you get him in arcade mode. I'm sorry. Captain Ginyu. Ginyu is just there to be weird. Lord Zed. Lord Zed's pretty funny. I'll give you that. Trombone from Marvel 2. Pretty nice character. I like Tron. HD Remix Sagat. I wanted him to play more like ST, but, you know, I couldn't get it to be that way, so whatever. CVS2 Akuma, again, hold start, you get Shin Akuma, enough said. Blade is so bulky, it's not even funny. Like, I'm pretty sure you couldn't kill him in the time limit, unless you had, like, Rare Akuma or something. Rayquaza, because he was a boss in Brawl, I just put him in there. Plus, I just like Rayquaza. Pyron from Darkstalkers is he has pretty nice spritage. CVS2 Bloody Ori, I took a lot of work to get this guy. Black Battler, not the same Black Battler from the arcade playthrough, because I had to update him. Wow, my nose is acting up. Jesus. NGPC Akuma, plays pretty weird, but I like it. Platonic Twins. You saw them during the arcade playthrough. Are we actually about to get to the end of the loop? Oops. Yeah, this is a pretty long time. But it comes right back. Sweet. Yeah, this is Akuma's Street Fighter EX theme. Platonic Twins is just kind of like Gainits in a way, keeping you away. Kazuya. I couldn't put Devil Kazuya, so I just had to go with regular Kazuya and make a Devil Kazuya stage. Android 18, back when she was evil. Everybody likes Android 18, so I just stuck her in there. Plus, I needed more females. SF4 Evil Ryu, again, pretty cool that there's a sprite made of him. SF3 Akuma, I'm pretty sure if you hold start you get Shin Akuma, so whatever. Cervantes, Cervantes is pretty weird, but pretty fun to play. SVC Akuma, hold start you get Shin Akuma, obviously. HD Remix Bison, you know, again, pretty obvious. I argued with myself for a pretty long time that Shenlong should not be in this game, but since he was originally meant to be somewhat like Akuma, I just stuck him in there, because he was, like, meant to be the original Akuma, but then it was later found out he was a prank, and then he had all this drama around him, and he did more bad than good, so I consider him villain. Shredder! Not the same broken Shredder from Maximilian, sorry, but, you know, I didn't feel like adding him in at the time. However, if anyone has the link to that Shredder in the Max's Mugen video where he just absolutely wrecks Evil Ryu, then, I'd be more than willing to put him in the game. SVC Bison? Pretty sure that's just Bison, you know, nothing else. Shao Kahn! I had to do some updates with Shao Kahn, but, after a while I stuck him in there, because, I just didn't find a reliable version of Shao Kahn. SVC Sagat? Pretty interesting. Janemba, has a pretty bad sprite, but, doesn't play that badly. Magic Geese, again, is kind of like Rare Kuma, he's meant to be a joke. Nega Ryo, I had him there because if you play ST Violent Ken, he kills him over and over, so I'm like, screw it, let's just have Nega Ryo. Raditz is pretty funny. Also, Nega Ryo's made by the same guy who made Boss Sagat, so whatever. Movie Sagat, speaking of Sagat. Sagat. Movie Sagat, again, they're just to be funny, you know, whatever. Sephiroth, I fought for a pretty long time to get a good version of Sephiroth, and this is the best working version of Sephiroth I could get, so whatever. Seth from Street Fighter 4 has a pretty nice sprite to go with him, so, you know, not disappointed. Nappa from Dragon Ball Z. Nappa is just, I'm pretty sure he's just there to be funny. Scion from Red Earth. I don't remember which form he starts out in. I'm pretty sure he starts in his mage phase, but whatever. Alpha Violent Ken, which I put in because of Alpha Evil Ryu, because I just saw him around and I decided to add him. Neo Jesus, or is it Gigas? I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name, but he morphs into a bunch of SNK characters and it's friggin' hilarious. You know, because he's done just morph into the World Heroes characters. No, he morphs into, like, everybody from, like, KOF and all the other games, and it's just pretty dang funny. We have Shin Bison from Street Fighter EX3, and, pretty on the cheaps. He's pretty cheap. Violent Ken, just straight Violent Ken from SVC Chaos. You know, that's his native game, so I just decided just to purely name him Violent Ken. You know, because this is the original Violent Ken. We have Orochi from King of Fighters 97. I don't know how hard he is, so whatever. Probably not that bad. Dio from World Heroes 2, the original Dio. And, ow! He's a bit of a jerk. He's hard to kill. Marvel Evil Ryu, based on his transformation in Marvel 1. So, there you go. Zero Akuma from Cyberbots. I put him in there because I thought it'd be pretty interesting to just have a giant mechanized Akuma in there. Mizuchi from Neo Geo Battle Coliseum is a clone of Orochi, so, you know, whatever. But strangely enough, they're both occupy different characters. Zankuro from Samurai Showdown, the last Samsho boss I have in this game, and it's pretty weird. Thanos from Marvel Superheroes, took me a pretty long time to find this version of Thanos, but I found it. Clone Zero from KOF 2000 has some pretty interesting moves. And then there's Gil from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and he's just hard as shit. So, all of those characters were in the first version I made of this game, but that could fit on Dropbox. But since Dropbox had really weird restrictions, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna stop here. I'm gonna fill this entire character roster, just cause I can do better, you know? So I decided just to keep going with it, and just see how crazy we could go. So, next we got Alpha Vega, who, has some, pretty weird, you know, has a weird icon here, but, otherwise it's pretty functional. Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you know, I put him there because, you know, I kept asking myself whether or not he's a villain, but, of course he is. Human Psyche from KOF 2013, 2013, that was just KOF 13. You know, KOF 13 finally got him working. I awkwardly got him working after a while. Jivatma from KOF Maximum Impact 2. I couldn't find Duke from the first Maximum Impact in sprite form, but, you know, somehow I found Jivatma and got him to work. Movie Balrog, who, much like any other version of the film versions, is just there to be funny. Kairi from Street Fighter EX. He's basically Akuma, so I stuck him in there. Karate Kenji from Fight Fever. You know. He's weird, but, you know, pretty interesting. Congo from Red Earth. He's a big guy. Lavia, also from Red Earth. You know, a lot of the Red Earth villains have a lot of interesting designs. Nobunaga from Ninja Masters. Ninja Masters is? I don't know how you pronounce that game. But, he has some interesting moves. Hydron, also from Red Earth. And Revenge, also from Red Earth. You know, just look at Red Earth's enemies' design. You know, pretty wild. SF2 Balrog. You know, and I stuck him in there because I have the other SF2 versions. We have Omega Rugal 95. He has a cybernetic arm, and it's cool. And I tried playing as him in one of the failed recordings I did, but couldn't really play as him that well. S-Geist from Asura Blade. And friggin', oh boy, is he hard as shit. Then there's Kusanagi from KOF 2003. Yeah, KOF 2003. And it's pretty fun. I'll admit you that Kusanagi is pretty fun. SF2 Vega. Right smack dab in the middle. This is the Vega I despise. The Street Fighter 2 series version of Vega I fucking hate. Every single time I go back to SF2, I always remember I have to fight Vega. Omega Rugal 98 has some weird moves, but it's pretty fun otherwise. Alpha Balrog, you know, pretty obviously alpha version of Balrog. Mech Dan, he was originally named Cyber Dan, but I changed it to Mech Dan. He also has it on his belt there. And that's just because Mech Dan doesn't sound good, and that works for him. We've got Blackheart, who had some pretty interesting decisions, but I chose Blackheart. Got Blackheart in there. Venom, we got Venom. He's pretty interesting. Omega Red. We've just got a bunch of Marvel villains in a row. We got Sabretooth. Sabretooth is pretty weird. And then Sentinel's made by the same guy who made Onslaught and Abyss. So, whatever. We've got Astaroth from Soul Calibur. You know, has some pretty generic moves, but, you know, he works. We got Azteca from Kaiser Knuckle. So, Fetal Existence. You showed me the error of your ways, because, you know, Azteca is, pretty weird, but I like him. He just has an interesting design. Dark Eternal Champion, I finally got him working, because, originally the AI would just control him, but then I learned how to turn off AIs, so now you can play as Dark Eternal Champion. Gonzalez from Kaiser Knuckle, has the belly flop of Doom. Kega, who's literally a fusion of Ken and Vega, so, you know, just saying. And another fusion character, which is Dark Khan, who, is pretty bad, but, is made by Shoshoryu, or whatever however you pronounce his name, who made a whole bunch of characters that I like. Adam, a Gil edit, you know, pretty godlike. Gotetsu, I also argued whether or not I should put him in this game, and, I decided to, because, he has more Akuma resemblances than, Gouken. Then we got Slender Man. Yeah, a lot of these characters are just meant to be funny, like Benson. This is also meant to be funny, you know. Even though he's more of a quote-unquote villain than anything else. Darth Maul plays like Clone Zero, and it's pretty funny. Well, I don't know which Zero he plays more like, but pretty interesting. We've got Giant Akiha from Melty Blood, another giant character who is meant to be rivaled with Galactus. Ice King, you know, again, meant to be funny. Jeff the Killer, strangely enough, can beat Slender Man and completely wipe the floor with him. Red Arsuid from Melty Blood, my main in Melty Blood, in fact. She's like Bloody Ori, so there you go. Darth Vader. Darth Vader is pretty interesting, even though he's all black and is really weird. Movie Vega. I didn't even change his name. God damn it. I'll have to edit that, but Movie Vega, meant to be funny. SVC Balrog. more SVC stuff. I like the SVC sprites, even though they're weird. Crazy Hand, again, meant to just, troll whoever you're playing against. Lip Syncer, meant to be funny. Bane is pretty interesting. Whatever. Adelhyde from KOF, I put him in there because of why not. Carnage, I found this sprite of Carnage, and, it's pretty good. Brainiac, Brainiac was in Injustice 2, so I thought, you know, why not stick him in now? Saishu from KOF 95. He was evil in that game, so that worked. Blood Falcon, I had to get some Captain Falcon love in here, so why not Blood Falcon? SVC Vega, again, like the SVC sprites, and he has a pretty interesting battle cry. Krang from TMNT, you know, I just had to stick Krang in there. Chizuru, KMF 96, she's just there to be a jerk. Goldar, we got Goldar, you know, again, just meant to be funny. Lex Luthor, pretty interesting, has like his own like mech system, where every time you use a special, like a meter goes down and whatnot. We've got Ultron, who coincidentally enough, I put him in like before I figured out he was in Marvel Infinite, so I just put him in there, and then he was in Marvel Infinite, so now he fits. Evil Homer, I told you guys in the general overview that he plays awkwardly like Akuma, so there you go. He has a demon, and I got it canceled for some reason. MODOK, I put MODOK in here because I found a nice spread of him. Doodle Bob, the only reason he's still in this game is because he summons Rugal for no reason, and it's absolutely hilarious. We've got Original Zero, why not? We've got Despero, an Aquaman villain? Yeah, Aquaman villain, who, I just put in there because I felt like it. The Green Ranger, he was evil at one point, so, you know, makes sense. War from TMNT, you know, why not? Doomsday, just a big bulky guy, so why not? Xion from KOF 11, you know. This is the point where I started putting more of the KOF sub-bosses in the game. Sea Viper from SF4, I found a pretty nice sprite of her, so why not? Oh, I need to put that space in there. Oops. Archetype Earth from Melty Blood, you know. I'm pretty sure she's like the killer goddess who just wants to destroy you. Orochi Chris, probably not fun to fight, so his sprite. So that profile is pretty much a lie. SF1 Adon, just there because of Sagat. Agent Smith from The Matrix. I put him in there because he had a pretty nice looking sprite. Vermilion Akiha, her description. Like, I was like, this might just be a weird sub-variant. Then I look at her in quotes. Oh, wait, she's also evil. So, whatever. Necron from Bloodstorm? Yeah, from Bloodstorm. Pretty gosh dang weird. But he can kill you with an infinite by just spamming kick. KOF Billy. Started putting Billy Kane in here, and pretty nice. Kana, or Kana, I don't know how you pronounce her name, from Eternal Fighter Zero, I think, and she has like legendarily painful boss status, so whatever. Jury from SF4, you know, I found a nice sprite of her, so I put her in the game. KOF 13, Billy, again, has a pretty nice sprite. Alpha Adon, put in there because I had other versions of Billy, so whatever. Devil Daigo from Big Bang Beat, there we go. I had to dig around for this guy, but I found him. CVS2 Geese, I put him in because of the other CVS2 bosses. Dimitri from Darkstalkers, I looked it up, and sure enough, he is a villain, so I stuck in Dimitri. FF1 Billy, put him in because of FF1 Geese. You know, whatever. GG from Red Earth, I put him in because of the other Red Earth enemies. Gildus from Blandia. I started putting Blandia villains in here. This is where the games just get more and more fucking obscure. Curfew from Asura Blade goes with S-Geist, you know, whatever. Jiazu from Kizuna Encounter. You know, he was also in King of Fighters 11, but whatever. SVC Dimitri. I just like the voice clips he has, and has some weird stuff. Evil Robert, put him in because of Negario, you know, whatever. Carlos from Fallen Angels. He has a sword. That's it. He has a sword, and he's the final boss. Good. We've got Fulgore from KI. He doesn't have a profile, but he works, and he's pretty enjoyable. Shinobu from King of Fighters EX2 on the Game Boy Advance. Pretty weird sounding description, but, you know, that's what he's from. Kamui Tenro, I forgot what this guy comes from, but he has a pretty funny sword, so, you know, whatever. Dantel from Survival Arts. He's pretty awkward, but he's funny. And, there you go. Abubo from Rage of the Dragons, meant to go with Johan, because he's a sub-boss. Dark Sakura from MSH vs. Street Fighter. You know, I just stuck her in there, because why not? Glaugen, I showed him off in the, general preview. No, not the general preview, the general overview. There we go. And, pretty bizarre. Dark Akuto from Street Fighter EX. This is a real character that, Arika just wanted to make a copy of Evil Ryu, so why not? Ivy from Soul Calibur. I did look it up. She is a villain, technically. You know, but, you know. It's weird. Fallen Vega has this pretty interesting looking sprite, so I decided just to keep him in. Zeldis from Blandia. You know, pretty bizarre. Robo Ryu. I stuck him in because I thought the name would be pretty funny. Powered CL from Melty Blood. You know. All these other buffed up characters always seem to be evil for some reason. Orochi Yashiro from KOF. Like Orochi Chris, and like I just said, buffed up characters most of the time are evil. Loki. A lot of people know Loki because of the Avengers now. Wesker. I'm just gonna leave that to be a surprise for Max to figure out that yes, Wesker is in this game, but spoiler alert, he's not very good. he's not very good. So have fun. Phobos from Darkstalkers. I just decided why not. You know, he's a sub boss, so whatever. Orochi Leona, or some people call her Wild Leona or whatever, but you know, I didn't care at this point. Lana from Blandia. You know, pretty much just all the boss characters from that game are here. Rao from Fist of the North Star. He's pretty fun, even though he can be pretty damn annoying to deal with. Murtakumo. I forgot what game he's from. Maybe Akasutsu or whatever the hell. I don't know. I forgot what game he's from. Plankton from SpongeBob. They're just to be funny. Bizarro is totally broken. Because, here, you know what? The first bit of gameplay I'll have in, like, however long... I'll fight him against Mr. X. Let me just show you. There you go. Let's go to, yeah, friggin', let's go to Dark Ashes stage. His primary special is... Oh, it doesn't work on Mr. X? Wow, you can barely even hurt him. Okay. Let's try somebody different then. How about SVC Dimitri? And ouch, this song hurts my ears. Let's just go to, let's go to Magaki stage, because it's easy on the ears. But anyway, his main special is... And it freezes the enemy. However... If you keep doing it, they get stuck forever, and it always damages them. So if you land one, you've won the match if you just keep spamming them. So, he's easily one of the most broken characters because of that. Okay, then there's Strider Hien, who's just this evil Strider guy, who just, you know, wants to take vengeance on Hiryu, so whatever. Reverse Flash, I just found him awkwardly, and I put him in there. Clayface, you know, he was a villain, so whatever. Here's Ron from KOF 2001, and let's just show him off, because Feudal Existence, you commented on this guy, and you wanted to figure out where he came from and what he does, so let me show him off against Mr. Big here. Oh hey, here's the Double Kazuya stage. There you go. But anyway, he just has a bunch of really bizarre, hard-hitting moves. He also can't crouch. Yeah, he doesn't really do much, considering he was just originally meant to be a striker. So, whatever. Zhao Long, excuse me, from a Rabbit, I think. And Apparently, originally he was meant to be boring, but, you know. I found his design to be pretty interesting. Rasetsumaru from Samurai Showdown. Since he wasn't the final boss, I don't technically count it, so. But Rasetsumaru has a pretty nice design. Thanoside, who's a combination of Thanos and Darkseid. You know, why not? Mr. X from Resident Evil. I already showed him off, but he's just insanely tanky. Ryumizu, a combination of Ryu and Mizuchi. The combination nobody would have expected. Shuko from Double Dragon, which was developed by SNK. SNK's Double Dragon. And it's pretty gosh dang weird. Sion Tatari from Melty Blood, I'm pretty sure. And it's pretty bizarre. Code K, who's basically Cyber Ken. So, you know, whatever. What else is new? The Joker, I used him as an example in the team-up co-op in the general overview, but, you know, why not? Urian, I stuck him in because I thought it'd be pretty cool. Skeletor, just to be funny. Orochi Shurimi, just to complete the cycle of the Orochi team. Shadow Guile, because I'm pretty sure Kaiser Bison kills Guile, so why not have Shadow Guile? Imagio from Blandia, the last Blandia boss. Well, not the last one, because that's Gildas, but the last one of the order here. Shin from Fist of the North Star. I like his design, but that's like the only good thing about him. ST Shinakuma. Friggin', he has SF4 moves, you know. What else could possibly go wrong? We got Gorilla Grodd, who I put in because of Injustice 2. You know, why not? Red Skull. Red Skull had a pretty, I've known Red Skull for a long time. I just didn't know what purpose he served. Harley Quinn. Everybody knows Harley Quinn. Lobo has guns, so why not? Onomatopoeia. I did look. He is a villain, so, why not? He looks freaking badass. Sandman. Sandman can do some cool stuff. Vulture. Vulture's pretty weird, but, he's gonna be in, Spider-Man Homecoming, so free advertising. Sinestro. Sinestro's evil, so why not? Super Skrull. I just thought it'd be pretty funny to have him. Golden Frieza, who's lurching down there, but, you know, I decided to stick him in there because the other Frieza can't transform into him, so why not? Firestorm. Firestorm is because of Injustice 2. There we go. Grandmaster Mio from Strider. And, you know, I thought it'd be pretty cool to play as him. Electro has some pretty cheap-ass moves. Karnov from Fighter's History. Because he's the final boss. There you go. That's the only reason he's there. Metallo. Metallo's pretty sick. Golden Axe from the Golden Axe fighting game. That nobody remembers. Chelnov from the SNES Fighter's History that nobody ever played. And, there you go. That's it. Green Goblin. Everybody knows Green Goblin. Well, do they? Yes. Yes, they do. He's better, though. Scarecrow, because of, Injustice 2, even though Injustice 2, even though Injustice 2's Scarecrow is infinitely cooler. CVS 2 Mature, even though it doesn't look like the one from CVS 2. If you look down there, well, actually, no, it doesn't. No, that Mature, you know, is a different Mature. Poison Ivy. You know, actually, you know what? Let's just show off her. Let's do it. Along with Catwoman. Let's do it. See? Look. Groove select and everything. There you go. I never knew she had that easy of a super. Anyway. Then we have Poison Ivy put in because of Injustice 2. Why not? Chaos Hear You. I thought this would be pretty cool to have. Decapre. I was surprised there was a sprite made of her. Who is calling me? Black Mask. I liked Black Mask in DC versus Marvel, so I stuck him in there. Blob. You know, I ran out of options, so I stuck him in there. I don't remember if he was the last character I put in this game, but whatever. He's just bulky as shit. Catwoman, because of Injustice 2. Why not? Mongol. I looked up. He was, in fact, a villain, so why not? K-Blood. I'd have a variant of K somewhere in here. K-Dash. Evil Fei Long, put there just to be funny. KOF 13 Mature, you know. pretty easy to figure out that, you know, I have a lot of versions of those characters. Zombie Bison, who I didn't realize was a thing, but I found him, and pretty weird. Megatron, I put him in here because why not? CVS2 Vice, to fit in with Mature, who also has KOF Mature, so there you go. Scream, a different symbiote, so whatever, why not have more symbiotes, right? Orochi Shingo, meant to be funny. Bad Guy, I put him in there simply because of his name, you know. It's pretty interesting. Giant Chicken from Family Guy, because, you know, again, why not? I think he's meant to be a counter to Evil Homer, so whatever. Maki from KOF, you know, to fit with Chizuru. Karai from TMNT. Apparently she's cheap as all hell and meant to confuse you with Kairi. You know, I thought it'd be pretty funny. Varnage, a combination of Venom and Carnage, which, you know, is pretty sweet. KOF 13 Kusanagi, which I went through great lengths to try to get him to work, but eventually I got him to work. Vampire Burns, you know, just there to be funny. Sauron from Lord of the Rings, you know, I found his sprite and it was pretty goddamn cool. Trigger from Fallen Angels, he has a gun. That makes him special. Zeus from World Heroes, can hurt you pretty bad. Marvel Violent Ken to go with Marvel Evil Ryu, so whatever. KOF 13 Vice to go with the other, you know, go with KOF 13 Mature. Xenophage, I forgot what game he's from, but he's friggin' Jesus God, is he powerful. Mew 12 from BlazBlue, the only BlazBlue character I could get to work reliably in here. KOF Vice, pretty self-explanatory. Evil Dan, just to be funny. Orochi Terry, also to be funny, and I also like his idol, where he's just dying the whole time. Virgil, this version of Virgil is pretty damn cool, I'll admit you that. Junie from Street Fighter Alpha 3, you know, it's a doll agent, so whatever. One of the only few playable doll agents. FF3 Yamazaki, because he was one of the main, well, he was one of the bosses in that game. Zamasu from Dragon Ball Super, just to go with Goku Black, just to add more variety. Shadow Lady from Marvel vs. Capcom 1, because to go with all the other Shadow characters. Silber from KOF 11 and Bariki 1, who he's the final boss of Bariki 1, so, you know. And plus he has a pretty evil demeanor, so whatever. Reyes, pretty much female Gainitz, so there's 3 versions of Gainitz here, essentially, so, have fun. XXX2 is basically Shadow Ken, so, there you go. KOF Yamazaki, how he plays in KOF, you know, obviously. I don't know if he was in CVS2. Oh, right, he was in CVS2. Missed opportunity. And then, there's Julie, who's the final villain character, who is just, a match with Junie. So, there you go. Those are all the main characters you can play as. That's 300 characters summarized in 52 minutes. Jesus fuck. But there's 4 characters you see off in the edges. Those are the final bosses. You saw me fight Jotaro in the arcade playthrough with General, so you should know about that. Then there's Ichigo from Bleach. I put in there because that's his stage, is the final boss stage. Then the music in that stage belongs to Kenshiro, so I stuck Kenshiro in there, and also because there's Fist of the North Star villains. And Jotaro I put in there because of Dio. And then finally Saitama, who was the original final boss for the longest time. But I stuck in there because I wanted to make Team Arcade seem pretty fun. And also I made a radical choice of letting you play as all 4 final bosses. I decided I wanted to make them unplayable, but I couldn't figure out how to hide them and make them still work. So I just decided, you know what, I'll just keep them out there. Maybe I'll figure it out in V-Select how to disable them and make them non-playable, but if I can't, oh well, you know, they'll still be allowed to be played. So there you go, that's the entire roster of Red summarized, and, you know, thank you for spending almost an hour of your life watching me explain all these characters. And this means that the combinations you could play as in this game are pretty much endless, you know. This game has a bunch of replayability simply because of just how gargantuan this roster is, and although by the end of it, yes, a lot of choices do seem pretty desperate, you know, I tried my damnedest to make this game, you know, actually work out and be impressive in some regard. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Only you can prevent forest fires.